somebody was asking, and I'm curious too, so I'm gonna open the pop-out clutch on this Sears 158 1774. This is the Jaguar pull clutch, and there's a pinhole on the trim piece. To start lifting it up, and then we'll slide around and pop this. This is a tin piece of trim, so you want to loosen it all the way around so that you don't end up bending it and kinking it. And it looks like there are these 3 screws hold the knob in, and that center screw holds the body on. So we'll try taking that center screw out. And it occurs to me that I should probably pop the top off this machine so that I can also peer at it from behind. There we go. Okay. Well, that was easy enough. So there's the pop, and then that pin engages on the wheel here. So let me move the camera and we'll take this apart. So this wheel has 3 screws on the inside and 3 screws on the outside. I am going to check these screws from the inside first and see what happens when we slowly remove those. Now there's something springing in here to snap that hub in and out, so we'll loosen all the screws almost all the way out and see if this ring starts to come up. Yep, there are springs behind this ring, so as we remove these 3 screws from the inside, be prepared to lift this up, and what is in there? Oh, okay, so that only held this in from the back side, and the whole spring was just the spring pin to drive the machine. And that's machined with a spring in this hole, but it looks like there's 4 places it could get put. And the only thing that has to happen when you reassemble this is you have to make sure that one of these two holes from the hand wheel ends up over the spring pin. And because it's 3 screws, I bet I can move this to any of these holes. Oh, only one of these holes is machined out for it to fit though. It only fits this one hole, so those 4 holes are in there, but only this hole seems to be machined out to fit this pin. Alright. Now, so with the pin out of the way, this side with the plastic must be where the snap action comes from, so we'll take that and loosen it, and just like before, it's got some spring under it, so we need to hold it as we go and make sure we don't let any springs fly anywhere. So that plastic cover has a notch, and that notch lines up with either of these 2 notches on the outside here. And inside there are the center here has oh, I see. See, there's ball bearings in this center here, and those must be sprung. And alright, I'm going to carefully push that out. That is there, and there the 2 balls are. And the 2 springs, and there was grease on these, so this could get stuck from that grease getting stuck on these balls. And then there's a, yeah, you can see the old grease on these, so since I have this apart, I will put fresh grease on that after I scrape this old stuff off. Oh, the 2 sets of screws screw straight through this. Okay. So this piece, I wonder if this piece is reversible. No. I'm going to clean this up and then we'll reassemble that. To reassemble this, the side of these ramps that had the grease on it also stained the inside of this white plastic cover, which means that this is the side that trim was on, which is the outside of the knob. And there's also the grease stain on the center hub. And this is the way that that center hub lines up. So I'm gonna take a bit of oil on the edge of this hub. And work that in a little bit. Now, with the hub up, we'll put our springs in the holes, and then this is going to be the tricky piece. We have to put the ball bearings on the end of the spring. Push them in the hole, and I already lost one. All right. Well, I didn't lose one, but it definitely popped out. Okay. There. Push them in and then slip that down. There. Now that is in. I'm going to get my grease. And with those in place, I'm going to force grease in on those balls. We'll just put our little extra on the back there. That won't hurt anything. This is that nice modern grease. So freshly greased balls, and it's in place. I'm gonna put these 3 outer screws back in. And remember, this plastic cover lined up with the cover on one of the notches on the side. I'm going to put these 3 screws in and be right back. The white cover in place on here. Now we need to put this hub assembly inside our hand wheel, and it's got this plastic cover has 3 holes, and it also has 2 notches. Those notches fit in these slots, and the 3 holes need to line up with our screw holes. So it goes on in one direction. And now we need to drop our drive pin in. And I'm going to put a dab of oil on that. I'm going to put our retainer on. Alright, with our drive pin in place, the retainer ring inside here has to go on with the pin. The hole matched to the pin so that you can get screws in. And then preload that drive pin and put the screw next to the drive pin in first so that it holds the spring down. And then we can add the other 2 screws. And then we'll need to tighten those up evenly to make sure that this retainer ring is holding the plastic trim piece evenly. There. Now that pop clutch is working just like it was before we took it apart. But if you have issues with yours, that is how to open and clean one of these pop clutches on the 1774, and I assume it's very similar on the other pop clutches for the 158 series.